ruling the roost, as it were. So while I agree with my good friend Muhisa Kitui when he said that bad manners cannot be cured by constitutional amendments, I believe that the time is now to ask ourselves, what can we do to clean up the mess? And the one thing that I did not talk about is devolution. You cannot quarrel with devolution. But the reality, as I speak to you, all counties in Kenya are technically insolvent. Why? We have too many of them. We have 47 units and 47 governors who believe they are heads of states, of little states. Even if you look at the United States of America, which has an economy which is 21 trillion, it has only 50 states. Look at China with a 14 trillion economy, only 30 provinces. Look at Nigeria with a GDP of 500 billion and a population of 250 million. How many states does it have? 37. Look at India, 26. How did we possibly arrive at 47 and we still have appetite for more?
We want to create more.
So we must be bold enough. We must be bold enough to come to the people and say, this is what is on the table. It may not be palatable, but let us examine it.
And look at it. Why now, Prof?
Because
why on the 13th year? Why not on the 12th or 11th or the 10th year?
That was serendipitous. It is not as if we planned it, but I think it turned out, in fact, to my surprise, that was the birthday of the Constitution in terms of promulgation. But there is a constitutional moment. There is a constitutional moment because immediately after the 2022 elections, once again we found ourselves in an environment where the losers of the election, having exhausted the prescribed avenues, have chosen to act extra-constitutionally, with the consequence that the country was once again on tenterhooks. And as you know now, we have a process that is going on in terms of negotiation amongst the political contestants. And one can see, even if one is not a Jewish prophet, that one of the things that is going to emerge out of that process is a recommendation for constitutional amendment to resolve short-term political interests. You wait.
Prof, can I ask you on that? Because there will be the rebuttal to this, that would we then go towards constitutional amendment anytime there is a, for lack of a better word, mess in governance,
a political fallout,
in politics, or when we look at, for example, the insolvency that you talk about at the county level, that should there be a futuristic problem, that the answer to that would be a constitutional amendment. And they would say, how many times will we amend to solve a problem that is created by individuals?
Let me contextualize my answer in history. The history of the Kenyan Constitution has been the unfortunate history of amendments to resolve short-term political interests. My good friend, Professor Githu Muigai, has written a very good PhD thesis on this subject, on the amendment of the Kenyan Constitution. And we started amending our independence constitution, perhaps for good reason, in 1964. And we ended up amending this constitution almost 27 times before we went into the process of giving ourselves a new constitution. Is it a good idea to always amend the constitution? Bad idea. It is a bad idea, but these young countries, which we call young democracies, are experimenting with constitutional dispensations which many times are even alien to our circumstances. And after 10 years, knowing as I do that amending the constitution to address short-term political interest is not a good thing, I think there is merit in examining this constitution in the hope that after we have amended it carefully, it will take us a longer period to do so. If you look at older constitutions, say the Constitution of the United States of America, last amended, I think, in 1971, and not amended more than 21 times. And this is a constitution that is over 200 years old. The reality is that many of these things can be done through legislation. But we have, as a country, entered into the arena in which I call fixation with the Constitution. Things that ought not to be in the Constitution are found in the Constitution.
Like what, for instance?